It's going to ash a bit. If you just push it through here, it shouldn't ash. Hey, let me... Yep. Hi, love.
Hi.
Hey, I'm just inviting some people to the live.
Yes, I am doing the same.
I didn't realize that you could do that until I think it was this morning. I woke up and I was like, wow, Karina just told me that. And I didn't even know that you could like invite people to your lives. So I'm like, let me try that now. Okay, I think that's...
All right, let's see.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Gorgeous. I didn't even get to, you look beautiful, sis.
I told you I was definitely going on like a whole self-love weekend thing. Like I was making sure that I felt good. Like,
how did oh, I know what's going on. Okay. That's so good. Hold on one second. We could just wait a bit for some people to get in.
All right. Yeah, I'm here still sending out some more invites.
I can send.
All right, let's see.
How is your Sunday going so far?
It's going pretty good. I was just here putting away my laundry and everything. So
okay. Yeah, me too. I literally just finished cooking. I'm like, oh shoot, it's 4 o'clock. I gotta go throw on some clothes.
Yeah. All right, so I sent out some invites. So let's see.
Good. Yeah, we can start like in a minute, in a second.
I got my little cocktail because
I see. I don't know. Do I have wine? I don't even know if I want wine right now. Honestly, I feel like I've been drinking. I drank this week because Babe and I celebrated our 60th anniversary. So I've been drinking.
It's been that long already?
It's been that long already. Time
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes. Well, congrats.
Thank
6 years strong.
Yes, strong, literally. But I've been drinking all week, so I think I'll drink some water today. And then I'm hot too because I was in the kitchen, so I'm just trying to cool myself down.
Yeah, I see you're in Florida now.
Yes, I moved out here 2 years ago. I moved out of New York, we're in 2021, so that would be 3 years ago. When I graduated in 2018, I moved out of New York to PA with my girlfriend, and then we all collectively moved to Miami. Yeah.
Please tell me, like, how good is the weather out there? Like, is it worth moving?
It's nice. It's not as sunny as it normally is, but it's nice. It's cloudy, but it's hot. It's hot. Like summer, we normally get summer like in the spring. Like come next month is gonna be 80s and above. Like I'm not ready for it, but I won't trade it in for the snow. I don't miss it. Like I seen on someone's Jeep. They had sand over snow. I was like, oh, I'm getting that. I'm putting that on my car.
Thank you. I just want to shout out. This is a Weymouth dress, actually. So it's like, it's ruffled in the front. It also has a cinch tie. Okay. So, you know, and then it also has like the collar, the square collar. So it's like, it's really, really dope. I love this dress. I was like, I need to wear this. So, it's really, a black-owned business.
Yes. I'm wearing something black owned too. So my shirt, I don't know if you can really see it, but it says, to my black people, I love you, because I do love you. I got this shirt from Mess in the Bottle. She had a collaboration for Black History Month in Target. But
I heard of that brand. Yeah.
Yes, listen, I probably have 3 shirts now. I'm addicted. Like I need to go get another shirt because I love the messages that she put on the shirts. Like I love them. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you. Yes. So, my love, thank you so much for joining me. It's been so long since I've seen your beautiful face in person.
I know.
Besides online.
I miss you too, Eb. Oh my gosh, you don't understand. I was like, there's times I'm like, wait, where have Eb gone? And when you told me that you went on that hiatus, I was like, oh, okay. Because I'm like, all right, I remember you always coming online. You're always doing like your makeup tutorials and stuff. So I'm like, where did she go? Like,
yeah, I had to switch up. I had to not even switch up, but I had to come back to myself. Like Instagram was just between Instagram and the pandemic and then working from home. It was just a lot of adjustment. Plus I had dealt with a situation literally right before COVID, and it kind of like destroyed. It kind of like I want to say it didn't destroy me, but it took a toll on me. So I really had to buckle down last year, especially, and just heal myself, like step into my power of being able to self-heal. So that's why I took a break, you know, from Instagram. But I'm back. I'm better. I know now that there's a freedom in taking breaks. If you feel like social media is too much, I believe that there's power in having the people on your timeline that makes you feel good. If you have a friend or you know somebody that may not be posting content that relates to your life or makes you feel good, you can unfollow them, and it is okay. Like back in the day, I used to think, oh, you unfollow me, we got beef. No, it's no. It's personal. It's for me.
Yes.
I need to make sure that my sanity and my mindset is good. So yes, and that's just for people out there too. If you're thinking about taking a break, I just recently took a break earlier this week because I felt, last week, because between Mercury retrograde, I just felt like a bottle about to pop open. And I was like, no, I need to sit down. I need to meditate. I need to journal. I need to regroup so I can come back and know exactly what I'm doing. But and then of course we had this beautiful live that I could not wait for. Girl, the 5 senses of love. First off, shout out to God for the title, because I didn't think of that on my own. And while I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, this is cool. And I'm sitting here and there's little questions that I ask myself on a daily, like, does this feel like love? Does this look like love? Does this sound like love? You know, does it taste like love? Like, love is literally ingrained in all of us. We all are rooted and built and created on love. So, you know, our 5 senses, they work in tune with love as well. And I know that you as well, you know, Karina, your growth is just beautiful. And as a Black woman, it exudes out of you that you love yourself and you're not nothing less, nothing more. That's it.
That is true. That is true. I'm going to intake that, because I think I have worked my way through being this Black woman and like trying to battle the stereotypical, you know, the angry Black woman or the aggressive Black woman. Now I'm like, I am the Black woman. Like, this is what it's going to come with, and there are no compromises. There's no sacrifices. Like, this is who I am, and the more that I grow, the more you're going to need both hands to carry this plate, pretty much. So that's how I see it.
See, I love it. I love it. I love it. And guys, my followers, if you guys haven't already, you got to check out Karina. Like, her lives, everything. She is, I called her, I said it yesterday, she is the voice for the voiceless, or those who are still trying to find their voice. She is the one, okay? If you feel like, oh, I don't know about this situation, Karina gonna say it. She gonna let it be known. And I love it. So as we're getting into the 5 senses of love, let's talk about how does love, I'm going to start with the easy ones. Well, not easy, but like the more fun ones. So what does love smell like to you?
Love smells like a clean vag.
By the way, ladies, go get your yoni steam. It's link in my bio. I sell yoni steams. Clean that vag, peel that vag, get it good and pop it, and yoni is popping, okay? Shameless plug, but
shameless plug. I'm a big advocate for shameless plugs. Listen, that is where it's at. But honestly, like, all right, so I was joking when I said that, but honestly, I feel like love smells like, I think how they say it, pheromones. like that hormone that exudes out of your body when someone is like super excited, happy, or in love. I honestly feel like that's what love smells like. You could be hugged up with your man and you find yourself smelling his underarms, and to you it's like the best smell in the world. Or like you come home from a long day of work, like you work 8-9 hours, and you are down to like that last base of your perfume or your cologne, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I smell good. Like I honestly feel like that's what love smells like. And I know it sounds crazy, but I think the more in love we are, whether it is with ourselves or with other people, the better we smell. And it may sound crazy, but
no, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like that's what it is. So
that is true. When you like, it's so true, because I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but like, have you ever been in like a place, whether it be like the mall or something, and whether it be a man or woman, they walk past you and you have to turn because you're like, yo, you smell really good.
Yes.
That shows that person loves themselves, because they're like, listen, I'm gonna make sure when I go out, I'm smelling good for me and everybody. And just because and even if it's for themselves, everybody else, look how many heads they turn. Like sometimes people can't even, some people have to be like, oh my God, what type of perfume is that? Because that smells like love. Like, damn, I want to smell like you. Like one of my favorite, recent favorite perfumes, the Caroline Herrera Good Girl. That
I did a blog on that one. Yes.
That smells like a bad bitch.
Yes.
From the time I smelled it, I was like, whoa, that smells like a bad bitch, and I want it.
From the bottle to the notes, right down to the way that they formulated the notes, like it is a bad bitch in a bottle, legit. Like the heel and everything. Like, I love it. One of my favorites, to be honest.
Yes. So let me see what love smells like to me. I agree with the perfume. That was a good one. Love for me smells like, wow. I think I may have to agree with you on the perfume, but no. I'm a foodie, so I'm going to say love for me. The way to my heart is if you cook some curry. The smell of curry. Okay, so my mom, I'm from Guyana. My parents are Guyanese. I'm born here, but Guyanese. My mom, when I was in her womb, all she ate was curry chicken.
Really?
So I came out the womb like that. I think that was probably one of her cravings. I'm not sure. I have to ask her, but I remember her saying like, "Yeah, if you really love curry," because I used to eat it when you were in the womb. And I swear, it's like from young. Every time I have that scent in my nose, I'm like, automatically my heart just opens and I'm like, I'm ready to eat. I don't know what it is.
That could be it. That could be it.
I love the smell of curry. Like anything, I'll eat curry, anything. Like just that smell alone, it puts me in a good mood. Like it's so crazy. It really does put me in a good mood. So I think that's what, for me, that's one of the many things love can smell like. And I was going to ask you about the pheromones, right? Because that is something that we experience as women when we're going through what our cycle phases, when we're ovulating. We emit this scent that I really haven't, I don't know if you ever smelled the scent before, but it's some type of scent that I didn't recognize it until I used to bartend. When I bartend during my ovulation, I used to make bread, okay, bang. Now, I didn't have to do much. I didn't have to smile and like do a whole conversation. They was just giving me, I was like, whoa. Until I really sat back and it hit me. It was like, Google this thing. And it's like, yeah, we carry these, for men. It's kind of like a mating thing with the mammals, We carry the scent where it's like we're ready to mate, even though we may not be ready to mate. But our body is ready to mate. So therefore, that's what attracts the other species.
Yes.
Have you ever smelled your own, like the pheromones? Because I know it's like a sign. It's probably like a slight scent that I've never smelt it. So I just want to know if you ever smelt it on yourself, on your body.
I've never smelt it, but I would think that it probably really is the smell of the vagina. Like, I've seen like people do this thing called vabbing, where they literally like take like the juices of their vagina and dab it right here. And then they would do an experiment. Like they would go out and they would see that there are more guys actually like just turning their heads. Oh, Miss, can I get your number? Miss, can I talk to you? Miss, can you miss. And then it's like, so I think it literally is something where our body really do exude this aroma of love that maybe we can't smell, but the male species can. Yeah. And it's super weird, but I mean, that's how God created us. Yes. So I wouldn't put it past him that he would do something like that.
Yes. And heavy on a clean vag. Like that's that's what it smells like. Heavy on the clean. We all about over here, LiveSlayCru, we all about healthy yonis, healthy womb, all of that, because all of that is a part of self-love, okay? Like seriously. Yeah. Let me see if there's anything that I want to say. No, heavy on the clean vag. I gotta write that down. I gotta write that down. I really gotta write that down because I love that. Okay, so what does love sound like?
Love sounds like two things to me. Love sounds like poetry, and love sounds like a drive over the highway in the passenger seat. I love bridges. I love highways. I love hearing that weird ripple sound coming through the window. I love hearing the wind blowing against the windshield. I love hearing poetry. Like those are two things that I really feel like love sounds. It sound like I hear those things and I think of love automatically.
Yes. Yes. There's a freedom within that sound, you know. There's a freedom, like as I'm thinking about it too, as I came back from the beach yesterday, like, you know, there's nothing but highways and bridges and stuff. And it's just have the windows open. Sometimes you just want to put your hand out and just feel the air on your palm, or sometimes some people stick their head out because they want to feel a breeze through the air, and just that sound of just going, you know, like wind passing you by, nature, ripples, anything. Yes. Like that is a sound. That's something that I haven't paid attention to. But now that you mentioned it, it's like I think that I will look at those long drives, because I love a long drive. I love it. Like with the windows open. You see them in movies all the time. Yep. You know, girls hanging out or guys hanging out the passenger seat, because it's such a freeing experience. You know? You know,
that's actually on my bucket list. I want to hang out the window, and I want to hang out the window with the wind just blowing. Like I just want to like put one arm up and like that's one thing on my bucket list. No lie. Like,
well, yes, it should happen. It will happen. It will happen. It will.
It will.
It will. So, sound. Love sounds like. I love the sound of the waves crashing at the ocean. Like I'm addicted to going to the beach. So it's something peaceful. Even just sometimes the stillness of like any body of water, not only the ocean, but just any body of water. I think love sounds like waves crashing, but then there's also a stillness in between. So like I don't know if that would make sense if love sound like that silence, that quiet. Sometimes I
understand that silence. I definitely know what you're talking about.
Within that silence, you get to see all of yourself, or hear all of yourself, or connect with nature. So I think that's what, to me, that's what love sounds like. Just whether it's waves slowly crashing or loudly crashing, but more importantly, that stillness in the water. Yes. Like that stillness in the air, that stillness of sound. Like it you know, sometimes there is sound and no sound. So I think that to me, that's what love sounds like. And I feel like also when I'm silent, you know, because I meditate a lot, when I'm silent, that's when I'm able to connect with me, my higher self, my guardian angels, God, anybody. You know, I feel like within I used to be afraid of silence. I never really liked I didn't really like to be quiet, or, you know, I always have to have something blasting in order for me. If I'm angry, I want to blast music in my ears. If I'm, you know, and it's like, no, sometimes that silence is where you find all of the love. Like I sit in silence and I come back and I feel so filled. And it's like, wow, that's such a good feeling. You know, I didn't know something, just being quiet within yourself, quiet around you, like being in a quiet environment, it's just it's so blissful. So that I believe, and then, you know, also moving out here, it's kind of quiet, so it's like I remember living in New York and that hustle and bustle and that noise, and saying to myself like, nah, this is not the sound that you envision yourself to live in for the rest of your life. Right. I knew in my heart that I didn't want to be in Brooklyn for the rest of my life. Like the noise, eventually the sound started to irritate me. And I don't know if you know, like your environments, I'm pretty sure you know your environments play a lot on your body, your physical body, body, emotional body as well. So, you know, that noise, it started to irritate me. So then I started to just be angry all the time, angry and anxious and all of this. And it's like, no, you know, moving out here, even moving to PA, it was a silence. You know, it was different. Like you can hear the birds chirping and not have to hear a train running, you know. I woke up one morning and I was like, this is what I wanted. And I think, and I was, as I'm tracking back, it's like, yeah, this is what I wanted. And that's love to me. Silent, like not so much hustle and bustle of life, but just the stillness of it all, you know, that still sound of it all. So yes, oh my God. Yes. I think I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to stick to that. And as we talk about feelings, how does love, or let's be particular, self-love, how does self-love feel like? Because for me, I believe that that love is a feeling you can only give to yourself. That like you can't really expect love from other people, because only you know, and you may not know it consciously, but your body, your subconscious knows how your soul knows how it needs to be loved. So what does self-love feel like to you?
Self-love feels like effort. I realize when I make the decision to put in the effort to love myself, you see this. Like whether I have on the wig or not, whether I have in the eyelashes or not, you see my beauty. When I don't have that self-love, you see it on my skin. You see it in the way my nails break. You see it in every aspect of who I am. I lose weight. And I noticed those are times where there was something that caused me to not love myself in that moment, and my body manifests it real quick. Yes. But the moment I decide to love myself, you see the effort. You see the effort in everything I do. I put in the extra time to moisturize my skin, to get my nails done, to do my hair, to make myself feel like what it is, to make myself look like what I feel. That's what I should say. Yes. Definitely. So, and that is so true. So like with self-love, like feeling that, how I said before, like self-love, you can only give that feeling to yourself. I definitely I'm a learner of that now. I can honestly say, like, growing up, I just wasn't, my definition of love wasn't what I thought it was what love truly is. And I used to go and look for love in other people. So I expected this person or that person to love me, or I expect this person to take care of me, or that person to take care of me. And honest to God, it wasn't good for me. Like, and I just kept ignoring it. And, you know, like how you said, it manifests in the physical body. I've dealt with so many ailments in my life, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's because da da da. But really and truly, when I think about it, it's like because you weren't taking care of yourself. Yes. Or putting yourself first. The little things, the little small things that, you know, but I could also extend myself grace now and say, I didn't know. You know, I just grew up thinking that love comes from other people. Self-love where? You understand? Like, what is a self-love? That's how I felt back in the day. Like, somebody would have been like, oh, love yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I love myself because I have this person over here loving me. You know, and in a sense, it kind of
it kind of limits your soul as to what your soul needs. You understand?
Yes.
It does limit your soul, what your soul desires.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that until I think being with my girlfriend. She is my soulmate. She is that person that shows me all the things, the flaws, the good, the bad, and the ugly. She makes me want to be a better me. And honestly, being with her, I can say that started my self-love journey. So quick story. When we were dating years ago, when we were dating, she was in PA at the time. I was in New York, so I was traveling back and forth. And right before I was about to get back on a mega bus to go back home, it was brick. It was freezing. And I never really took care of myself. Like I said, I never really took, showed myself self-love, and I didn't really think anything of it. And she looked at my hands and she's like, babe, why your hands so dry? And she literally like took lotion and she massaged, like, and I didn't think nothing of it because I'm like, oh, it's cold, whatever, it's my hands, I'm not gonna put no lotion. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, I'm gonna just get on this bus. And she took her time and like lotioned my hands for me. And I was like, whoa, this isn't something that I didn't even do it for myself. You understand?
Right.
So it's like, whoa, what is this? This is something new. And I swear I was like, after that, I was head over heels. But over time, being with her being herself and knowing herself and finding herself, I had to do the same. I couldn't just no longer, life showed me that I couldn't just depend on this one person for love. I couldn't just say, you love me and then I'm gonna love myself. I had to learn, no, I have to love myself first, and then in turn it will, you understand, I will be able to accept her love, because I have a hard time accepting love. But now as I'm on this journey of true self-love and understanding what self-love or love as a whole consists of, I can sit back and say, all right, yes, love yourself. Yes, be compassionate with yourself. Yes, be graceful. And in turn, I see myself doing that for other people too. So I'm not as easily irritated, because I'm my biggest bully, but I try not to be a bully with myself. So because I'm patient with myself, I'm patient with other people, because I love myself. And then at the same note, in the same notion, once you find that love within yourself, in the world how you stand and where you go and how people will treat you. You determine how people treat you by how you treat yourself. And it's more so you determine how people love you by how you love yourself. So if you're not, and it does, you're not lotioning or like taking care of your hair or taking care of your nails, I'm a firm believer in making sure your cup is overflowing before you can pour into anything. And anyone. Yes,
that is true.
Yes, and that is something. That is something that I am learning, something that I am still learning, something that is a struggle for me. But I always have to make sure, Ebony, you are your priority first. You can't give from an empty cup. You can't do that at all. Yes, so that's self-love. Yes, self-love is a feeling. Let me see. So I recently did a Reiki session because I just felt like I needed it. I think it was just like a divine order, right? And one of the sessions, she asked me, what's your intention? So I said, well, after my first one, I felt it was good, but I still felt heavy. And she turned to me, she said, we were on virtual. So she said to me, she was like, you have a very sad heart. And when she said that, I was like, oh, that's what makes it. Because I used to walk in life thinking that I was good, but I really truly wasn't. I wasn't standing in love, because the same way I used to think having other people love me was the meaning of love, I got hurt. And because I got hurt, I closed my heart so much that I didn't even know I was walking around with a sad heart. I just thought, life is life. I know my emotions, and not. And then, so the second session, we did the heart. We focused more so on the heart, and oh my God, when she said, like, we resetted the chakra wheel, and she's like, as it's turning, just in your head say, I forgive blank. And Karina, the people, the names, even myself, like, I think I was the last person that said, I forgive you, Ebony. Like, but it was so many people, and after the fact, I cried. But self-love feels like, for me, it's like your heart. It's very delicate but powerful. Me being able to hold my hand here and feel my heart after so long of not being able to feel it, knowing that it's there, but not feeling it. That feels like love, you know, like self-love to me. And it's just
your heart thawed out.
Yeah. And my breath too, because that's another thing. A lot of people, they don't breathe. I realize that I haven't, only now that I'm in meditation and I try to work on breath work, is that I realize that I haven't been breathing. I've been breathing to survive, but I haven't been breathing to sit back and smell the roses. You know, I'm not smelling them. I'm just, there are roses there, I'm going. You understand? So it's just like that feeling of your breath connected to your heart pumping, your blood flowing. I feel like that's what loves feel like to me, like being able to feel yourself, the inside and out, because I've been disconnected within so long that it's like now that I'm feeling it and I'm on that journey of love, it's such a good feeling that I don't want it to go away. I want it to elevate, evolve. Like I just want to be radiating like with that feeling where it's like I will never
as
have
you
to
should.
disconnect. Yes. Yeah, I never want to disconnect with it again.
I know, I definitely agree with you on that. I think it's something that subconsciously we forget, that when we come into this world, that's the first thing that we connect with is heartbeat. We connect with our functions, our vital organs. And as we grow, the world teaches us to neglect it. The world teaches us to forget why we are alive. And it puts other items in perspective, or other people in perspective, that we should be the last one on our list, and that's not true. We should always be the first one on our list, because that's how we're able to live in order to help other people in the world. So I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I that is so true. You know, life just off of rip, like as I said, like as you mentioned that, my generations, like my mom, I grew up seeing my mom serve everybody and not herself, you know. And I'm not sure if that was the same. Well, I know my grandmother, she did a lot of she was like a midwife and a health practitioner in Guyana. So I know my family, my mom more so, they had to move different. They were traveling, so they always moved all over so that she can serve people. And it's like, well, I never really got to meet my grandma. She died when I was younger, but I just want to know, like, you know, did she find self-love? That, you know, like, what was it that you did for yourself that filled your cup? Or did you just live your life serving others because you felt like that's the way of life, you know? Not to get it twisted where, yes, you have to, we are all here to serve one another, but more so, how do you serve if you don't have anything on your plate? How do you serve if you don't have anything on your cup? And I can ask myself that now, but I did it. I used to give from, I don't know where. I still can't tell you where it is that I used to give from, but I used to give my all. If it was my last breath, I was giving it. And it's like, no, you have to be able to put yourself first and unlearn that societal norm of serving others and then yourself, or giving others and then yourself. It's like, no, self first, everything else after. Doing yoga, the yoga teacher that I that's on the app, she says it. She's like, every time we get on the mat, she's like, thank yourself, because you're gonna be when you're a better you, everybody else around you is better. And I'm like, when I first heard, I was like, all right, sis, let's see. But it's so true. You know, now I make it a priority to get up in the morning, even if I have to get up a little bit earlier than everybody else, because I need to make sure that my ducks are in order. Now I'm good too, because I can't give from something that I don't, from a place that I haven't filled or I don't even have yet. Our generation, not even to sound cliche, is the one to break generational curses with lack of self-love and lack. Yes. I definitely agree. With the lack of self-love and lack of accountability, because self-love is accountability too.
It is.
Being like how when we spoke yesterday, and you were like, I don't know if you wanted to share, but you weren't really too in the best spirits, and you made it your duty that was like, all right, I'm gonna feel this emotion, but sis, you got to get up. Get up, do something that you love, do something that makes you feel good. All right, go get your nails done, get your hair done, get your lashes done, put on a nice dress, any little thing that will at least create that little light in your heart, because then it exudes. It literally, when you love yourself, it shows on the outside. When you lack that love, it shows on the outside as well.
It does.
It really does. It really does. And so as we were talking about accountability, what does love or self-love look like to you?
What it looked like to me is a double take in the mirror. You walk by and then you have to walk back and look again like, oh, okay. That's exactly what love looks like to me. And I am very familiar with that feeling because when I'm walking down the street, and even on my days where I feel like I put in no effort, but there's always that one person that just decides that they want to double look at you, or they want to say something to you, or they just follow you with their eyes. I feel like I need that emotion for myself every day. I need to feel that. I need to see what you see in me every single day. So once I see that and I get that double take moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't stop looking at the mirror, then I know I accomplished my daily dose of self-love, or my daily dose of love, because I won't know what love is until I feel it with myself first. So that's what it looks like to me.
Ooh, I like that. I really love that because yesterday I was on the beach and we were just chilling, and I wanted to take some photos for some my products, some cow earrings that I sell on the website, and something was just like, sis, take your top off. And I'm like, because where we go, it's not like South Beach. It's literally like a secluded little area. You have access to the water. You have like sand and rocks or whatever. And I took my top off and I was like, all right, I took some photos, and it's not until after I got home last night, I was looking through it and I was like, damn, Eb, you sexy. And babe, she was like, you been sexy. And I'm like, see, that's something that I never saw in myself, but that also ties in with expecting others to show you who you're supposed to be instead of stepping into who you are. You understand? So it's like, I look
at because you've been that girl.
I was like I wasn't supposed to go on Instagram. I'm like, I don't know if the gram is right because I'm trying to print this out. Like, I was really feeling myself. Like, and I feel like, yes, that's what love looks like. Looking in the mirror, and despite whatever flaw that you may or may not really like about yourself, just try to learn to love it. You know, like one thing that I never really liked about myself was like my hips, right? Because I don't really have much hips. But now that I'm working out, I stand in the mirror naked and I'm like, sis, your hips are so beautiful. Like, they carry your eggs. Like, they hold you up. They hold your thighs and your calves and your feet. Like, they are beautiful. Like, they don't have to be that norm of a hip to waist ratio. Like, just looking
and that
at
norm is false. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, that norm is very false. You know what I'm saying? Like, you meet like you're in a room of 20 women and only like maybe 2 of them have that superficial proportion by nature. So it's like, once you learn that, then you realize, okay, the only thing that I would need to fix is making sure that I am healthy. Once you're healthy, your body sits into place exactly how it's supposed to. Yeah, very much cookie cutter. Yes. Yes.
No, and see that's and I'm like, I don't mind the surgery. Like, I don't want to say I'm an advocate, but I'd be like, listen, if you feel like you want to touch something up, go ahead. Like, you know, that's your body, you know. But in the same notion, it's like, I see, I could feel what the younger generations are feeling. You know, we didn't have that growing up. We grew up, I know we probably showing our age, but we grew up and we didn't have much social. We're not old, we're young, but we didn't have we didn't have social media. You understand? We were the millennial, like, we literally seen the computer, all these new technologies.
The cell phone, the beeper, like, we've seen it all. So it's like,
so we didn't have
we had access, but we didn't have complete, like, where there was a lack of privacy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, everything that goes on in people's private life now, we have so much access to it, but growing up, we know better. You get what I'm saying? Like, the newer generation, like my daughter's generation, they're not going to realize that this is all fake. You know, like, them seeing it, they're going to believe that this is the norm. And when they see that they're not matching their parents because their parents got so much work done, they're going to feel subconscious about it. So it's like, it's just very important that we constantly let people know, like, yeah, this is what self-love really is supposed to look like. It's not supposed to look like this, like Tachina say, cookie cutter. It's not supposed to look like a cookie cutter, you know?
So, that is so, and then as you said, it's like, to your point, it's like it continues that cycle, you understand, from generations to generations to generations. And it's like, you know, self-love to me looks like, it looks like a mountain. Stay with me. When you're at the bottom of the mountain and you're climbing, you're like, you look at the top and you're like, ooh, that top looks so, I can't wait to be up there. That top look like, that point look like, when I stand up there, it's gonna be so beautiful, da 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 da. And you're so excited. You think that, okay, when I get to the top, boom, boom. And it's like, as you go up, you have times where you want to give up. And you're like, fuck it, I'm about to just go back down. You have times that you may hurt yourself and you're like, oh my God, how am I supposed to still continue to go up to the top of this mountain? There's times that if you're not by yourself, or let me not say it like that. There's times that you'll get closer, but then when you look up, it's so far away. You'll think you're closer, but you look up and it's so far away. You know, self-love is it sounds good, right? It's kind of like the top of the peak of the mountain. It looks good, but it's the work that you have to get to that top. And it's not like, oh, once I get to the top, that's it. Self-love is on 1,000. No, there's always gonna be challenges. There's always gonna be tests. There's always gonna be little things that come in place that you always got to remember, that it's like, I have the endurance, that faith of knowing that, okay, I'll be able to make it. But I feel like self-love, it's challenging, right? It has its challenges. It challenges it. It's challenges. But in the same notion, it brings you some type of peace, because when you do get to the top of the mountain, or even when you're like 2 steps away from that peak, you start to feel that rush of feeling good and excited, and you're like, all right. And then you get to the top and you can breathe and you're at peace, and you're like, all right, you know. But as you're climbing up, you learn those things about yourself. You're like, okay, I realize that I can't really hold myself up for 10 seconds, you know, so let me try to figure out a way now that I can hold myself up for 5 seconds here and 5 seconds there, extending that, you know, making aware of what it is and extending grace first, and then being able to work around yourself so that you will be able to create a better and be connected more with the higher you. You know, so that's what I think self-love, it looks like, you know, especially within my life. I used to think, you know, self-love is a buzzword, right? Everybody says, love yourself, love thyself, love thyself. Nobody tells you, or nobody really shows you how the work that you have to do. And it's not easy work either. It's literally unlearning beliefs, unlearning this, unlearning that. Maybe saying, okay, I have this characteristic about me, and it does work in my favor. Maybe I can tweak it, you know. But it's like shadow work. Everybody says that's another thing that's starting to pop up. Everybody's like, oh, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. Shadow work is not easy, okay? It's not. And it's not something that you want to combat unless you are ready for accountability. Because if not, you're going to be sitting here playing double dutch with some demons. So you better be ready to be held accountable. Yes. Self-love looks like loving myself for me. Yes. Yeah. And it's like, loving yourself is not always rainbows and butterflies, but at the end is when you'll get the waterfall, the rainbows and the butterflies. You understand? And it's like, once you know that, it's like just a constant learning of yourself, of your soul, of what you desire, what you may not desire. It's being able to have endurance, you know, under any type of duress, being able to understand your freedom of choice too, because you could choose not to go up that mountain. You could choose to give up and say, all right, I don't think I'm going to do it. You understand? Everybody has that freedom of choice, and people don't have. Some people forget that freedom, and I think that love and that freedom of choice, it goes hand in hand. You understand? Knowing that you have a choice. People really feel like, I forget sometimes that it's like, I'd be like, sis, you have a choice. You know, you make that decision for yourself because you love yourself. For me, it could just be picking up clothes off the floor so I can feel less clutter after I come home from a depressive state. Yes.
I actually want to talk about that because that's what you were bringing up earlier, and I'm not sure exactly what I was going through, but I know I don't know if it was the retrograde or anything like that, but I literally developed narcolepsy for like it started from December. Maybe it was because of the death of my friend, and then it literally heightened in January through February, and it was horrible. Like I've never felt like all the free will to get up and not want to sleep was taken from me. Like literally, like, and people don't really understand depression, much less they probably won't understand this feeling of narcolepsy, but it's literally being involuntarily submissive to your body to stay asleep. Like you want to just sleep and that's it. Wow. And I fought it. I would be driving in my car and I'm falling asleep, and I was just like, this is not good. And I realized the reason why it was happening is because I reached like this newer level of depression that I didn't recognize. And my body was like, all right, we're no longer going to fight against this depression. You're going to submit into it until you make some type of conscious choice to get up. And literally at the beginning of the week, you hit me up. No, it wasn't. I think it was like 2 weeks ago you hit me up. And I was like, I said yes. And I'm a big like believer in saying yes first and executing later. Because in between that time, you train yourself to get ready for whatever job it is that you said yes to. And I was this close. Like I hit up one of my friends and I was like, do you think I should just cancel? Like I really don't feel good. And she said, you know what, sis? Like if you don't feel like doing it, then don't do it. And I was like, you know what? I couldn't make that decision to just not do it and stay asleep because that's what all I've been doing. And I was losing hope in finding any type of like natural way to stay awake. Like I even went and bought sea moss and nothing was helping. Wow. And then I realized, you know what I need to do? I need to get up. I need to do my laundry. I need to clean my house. Yeah. I need to play with my bunny. I have a pet bunny. I need to speak to my daughter, get a hug. I need to get up and wash my hair. I need to get up and do my lashes, do my makeup. I need to do my nails, do my feet. And literally like just in me doing my chores combated that. Like now I'm waking up like close to regular. Before I used to wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning every morning. But now I'm getting close to regular. I'm waking up around 9, you know, and I was like, these are things that are becoming normal for me again, which is making sure that I hold myself accountable to that. And a lot of people don't understand like that depression, when you feed into it, it literally takes over. It takes over your life. And it's something that it becomes involuntarily. So if you have free will, practice your free will for the better of you and not for the opposite, because it will take away from you. Like it's literally like God giving you up to a reprobate mind. You don't want to deal with that. You really don't. So that is something that like, it's literally just a personal testimony of myself, which is why y'all see me on the screen right now. So
that is so good. I'm so sorry to hear about your friend, and but you know, and in this interim, I'm so happy that you did have that, you made that choice, and you did remember, hey, I have a choice. You know, I can choose to do these things, and I can not in a sense force, but just try, you know, just make that choice to try. That first step is sometimes it's the hardest step that you make.
It is.
Once you do make that step, it's like there's so much beauty to come from it. And I'm so glad that, you know, you shared your story, you know, you shared this story, because I sit back and I can understand what depression may look like for me, where it's like depression. I am an active depressant, so I'll be depressed and I'll go do a whole
and you won't even realize.
And I wouldn't even
you won't
know.
realize, and that's usually the worst, because you're functioning and then you break down out of nowhere. Like you break down.
I even broke down. I just literally, I think what I say is I ran myself ragged. I ran myself to the point of like a breaking point, you know, where it was like, all right, whoa, what the fuck is this? You know, what's going on? Like, why do I feel like every time I wake up, and now that I'm able to make aware of it, it's like, okay, if I get up in the morning and because there's times I just get up and I'm not on a good side of the bed, but if I wake up in the morning and I just don't feel like getting out of bed, or if I'm just angry at like I'm doing work but I'm just irritated by every little thing and it's not my moon cycle, it's clearly something. Like, it could be a little depression, it could be a little anxiety, it could be a little bit of both. And it's like just being able to recognize it and say, okay, you have that, because I used to sit in it, stew in it, everything, you know, and think, all right, somebody gonna come save me. And it's like, no, I have to be able to keep that. People can make choices for me, but I'm not gonna like the choices that they make. I may or may not like the choices that they make. And I didn't even remember that I had free will and free choice, you know, until it was like, okay, so what are you going to do about the situation? Are you going to go commit suicide, you know, or are you going to go and try to figure out what else you can do to try to, because
get yourself out,
you know, to get yourself out of it. And I did everything in the book. And I'm so grateful that, you know, that God was with me. You understand? Where it was like, although I was going to that little depression, I don't know if you've seen Big Mouth, but like how they have they have like a cat, that's the depression cat. And literally you see how cats like kind of go in a circle and then they lay down and then they curl their tail around you. That's literally how depression works. Like, it's like a cat's like, oh, come cuddle with me. I'm so warm. I'm so this. And it's like, you just sit in the sadness and
then you stay there.
And it's comfortable and it's kind of, it's not uncomfortable. I love that show too. It's not comfortable. It's very uncomfortable for you to make that free will, or to even just remember the free will and free choice, because it's like, yeah, but what if you do this and you're still sad? What if you do this and nothing changes? And it's like, you have to sit back and say, no, all right, my choice is this, and I'm sticking to my choice. I'm sticking to my freedom. I'm sticking to it, because that's something that you can only grant yourself. You understand? People won't grant that freedom for you. They'll say, okay, yeah, well, it's up to you. How are you feeling? Like, I went to a therapist and I thought, okay, going to a therapist was going to help me. Was going to help me get over whatever it is that it was. And it was like, she helped, yes. But when I had the conversations with her, she was asking me, well, what do you feel about this? How do you want to respond to this? What do you think? And I'm like, okay, I'm answering the questions, but I'm like, sis, you supposed to help me. Like, you know, it's not until I realized that it's like, no, I have that power. I hope. Oh, and then COVID happened. And then everything shut down and I couldn't go back. And she was like, oh, we could do, you know, virtual. And I was like, I'm not trying to talk to my therapist, you know, virtually. Like, it's supposed to be private. And after that, it was like, all right, well, you're still in the same situation, because it didn't make it. Like, I went to therapy and it was good to talk to somebody, but I wasn't fulfilled by it. Like, I wasn't fulfilled by it. And I was like, all right, well, you're going to have to figure it out. And I literally like had to go inside and like figure that out too. Therapists are just to help you live the authority of your life. Yes, you have authority on your own life. Seriously. And there's people that sometimes they live life and they don't. It's not that they don't, well, people tell them, and that's the thing, it's like, kind of like social media. Social media will tell you, you have authority on your own life, but they don't tell you what it looks like. They won't show you what it looks like. They won't explain to you what it may look like, where it's like, I'm at this job right now, and they kind of limited me, they kind of restricted me, they kind of bringing me down, and it's fucking with my body. Having that authority is saying, all right, I can't do this no more. I need to put my 2 weeks in. Yeah, I'm going to miss out on the money, but I know that if I speak to God and there's a confirmation, I don't have to worry, because God not gonna bring me so far just to leave me. You understand? I always say that, God, you don't bring me so far, you don't bring me this far just to forsake me right then and there. I know that there's a bigger plan. So it's just having that authority, because your boss will tell you, oh, like, okay, I'm just gonna say it. My personal experience, your boss is gonna let you know, like, oh yeah, well, you're not gonna be nothing, oh, you're not gonna da-da-da, you're not da-da-da. And it's like, damn, they taking away that authority from you, where it's like, you better not quit low-key, high-key, because you're going to lose out on all this shit. And it's like, no. Taking that authority over your life is the best feeling that you can ever do for yourself. Like, and I'm just so glad that as I'm learning these little things about myself, learning these little things about life, and like the true meaning of life, and not what is shown to me or what was taught to me, you know. So yeah, they won't tell. Self-love is a challenge, but it's beautiful at the end of the end of the journey. And when I say at the end, meaning like all the away at the end, death. You understand? When it's time for you to go back and reincarnate into something else. That's that journey of self-love is just, it can be challenging, but it is love. It is very, 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 very peaceful. Like just the other day, let me stop. Like just, was it this week? I was on the beach, random. We was on vacation, and something was just like, Ebony, you're a control freak. Like in my head, Ebony, you are a control freak. You need to stop wanting to control every and any little thing. Stop trying to control other people's narratives. Stop trying to control your own narrative. Like sometimes it's okay to surrender. And I literally took a deep breath after I went through that, and I wrote it in my journal. And it was like, all right, let me try to surrender. And I literally was like, I surrendered. I would say it felt like 5 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it was longer than that. And it was just that bliss, like kind of like how you said, driving on the highway with the wind just gushing and you just feel so free. It's like, that's self-love, you know, saying like, damn, you're a little control freak, giving yourself grace where it's like, all right, you control this and the third, but then also making that change to say, all right, well, what if you surrender? You understand? Let's see what happens if you just do the opposite, and just testing and trying out and see what works for you and what doesn't. Like, definitely. And I'm so grateful that, you know, you shared that, you know, just to your point, just, I'm glad that you shared that, because there's people you know, the retrograde was a bitch, okay?
It was.
I felt it the whole entire time, and I think like towards the end is when it started to get really like grit for me. So I had to take a step back, you know, and in life in general sometimes too, you know, but that self-love is just knowing that it's like you are loved by the divine, and in turn it's like, even if it's just laying in your bed because you don't feel like doing anything, you could be depressed, but laying in your bed and saying, all right, I'm gonna honor this emotion because I know I love myself, you know, but then I love myself enough to get up when it's time for me to get up. When I hear that little voice saying, okay, get up, I get up and I honor that voice. You know.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to point out, because you said that like people would tell you, oh, love yourself, or, you know, self-love is the first love or the best love. I think the reason why a lot of people skip out on talking about the process is because the process is just that dark. And a lot of people are afraid to speak about their process and how it felt before they got to that point. And a lot of people also like to hide the bones of who they were, and they don't want to speak about it. So like, even like when I thought about speaking about the narcolepsy that I experienced, and I was just like, should I bring this up or should I not? And I was just like, no, like I should bring it up, because people need to understand how dark it feels when you don't have, when your will is taken from you. People need to understand that, you know, and maybe that can keep somebody else from allowing the depression to take over, or allowing the negative emotions to take over, because once you allow that, there is no like you pulling back whenever you feel like it. Like, oh, okay, well, my friend's birthday party's today, so let me just pull back and feel all right, because now you're already so deep in, your body's not getting up, you know? So a lot of people tend to miss out on speaking about the process because they know how scary it was in that moment. So it's easier for them to say, love yourself first. Love yourself first. It's self-love above all and things like that. But they don't talk about the process on how they got to loving themselves, because it's triggering for them. It's traumatic for them. It's scary for them. And that's something that a lot of people tend to want to ignore. They rather show the result than the process, and not knowing that the process is actually what drives results from other people. You want people to listen, be the tutorial. Don't just show them the result.
Yes. I feel like you spoke to me too. Yes, because it's like I'm trying to release. Like I'm in my journey. On my journey, I'm trying to release that shame of like whatever past experiences I have experienced, because that is the key to helping somebody else not necessarily not make the mistake, but be aware of what could happen or what could be or whatever, you know. My story is important, you know, so it's just like that shame of trying to release the shame of, okay, yeah, Eb, you probably went through this situation, but it made you a bigger person. So it's like, I feel like I can't be an advocate of telling people, oh yeah, love yourself, but I'm not speaking or being more vulnerable and open, you know, and that all goes connected to my, you know, me healing my heart, but you know, just being open and being standing firm in my story. So yes, I definitely agree. Like I am people sometimes that I'll tell people love yourself. I'll tell them, yeah, these are things you can do. I don't really like to I try not to be like happy, joy, or like happy go lucky all the time, because that's not life all the time. Yes, you can be.
They call it toxic. What they call it, toxic positivity.
I don't like. I always have to catch myself when I'm like trying to be that positive person all the time. Don't get it twisted. I try to look at the positive in every situation, but I'm not that toxic person where it's like, oh yes, move in alignment. Alignment is so
just
beautiful.
ignore it. I mean, you did get mugged today, but just ignore it.
No.
I mean,
like,
they didn't rob your entire house.
That
you know,
shit
like
fucking sucks. Like that shit fucking. I'm sorry that you understand. Like I'm sorry that happened to you. Like damn, that shit. That I would be fucking pissed off. You know, I'm gonna relate. Yes, I'm going to relate.
Yes.
I'm going to try to relate as much as I can, because that's just the ebbs and flows of life. I can't. It's just not everything all the time is positive. You know, so like I think in one of my posts I had put, I think it was like something about like moving in alignment, and I was like, you know, make sure that you have to be a clear channel sometimes in order to really recognize and move in alignment. Now, how do you become a clear channel? Like you have to journal. It's not just writing ABC. There's little things. It could be worse instead of
that.
Exactly. And it's like, no, this situation right now, this experience right now for me is the worst that I probably had experienced. And then who's to know that that person didn't experience worse, you know?
Exactly.
Like that is very insensitive, as I'm thinking, as you mentioned, this lock and loaded. Yes. So where was I at? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You were saying that, let me see.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I forgot that part.
Yeah, we were talking about the toxic positivity. Yes. So moving in alignment, you have to be a clear channel. And I'm like, how do you do that? Shadow work, journal prompting. And it's like, people think, oh, you journal, you're just like Doug, Dear Diary, this and this and this happened. No. Sometimes, like with me, my brain goes through so much that I get up in the morning and I just brain dump. And you don't know what emotions you may have on the inside, that, and also just naming your emotions too, because sometimes people think it's just like happy, mad. And it's like, no, there's so many emotions in between those two, that spectrum, you know? So it's like when I brain dump in the morning, it's like, I'll ask myself, how are you feeling? How are you, you know, little things like that. And it's like, if I'm not feeling too good, or if I'm not feeling well, why? What's the issue? Do you need to sit? What do you need to do in this moment right now to make sure that you not can get over it, but sit with the emotions, honor with the emotion, but don't let it take over your life. You know, don't let it really take over yourself. So it's like, I try to keep it as real as possible when it comes to like healing your womb, healing your yoni, healing that divine feminine within you, because it ain't easy. Like I had to break in order for me to be here right now. You know, it wasn't just, oh, okay, life is good, and I just pulled this out of my hat. Like, no, I had to, you know, and in turn, what I think I'm going to do now, starting today, as it's on the record, on live, is that I really, truly am going to step into my past experiences and my story, because it is as dampening as it can be. Is there strength in that, you know? There's so much strength in that. So thank you for bringing that up, because I feel like you read me, but in a loving way. You were like, low key, high key, I needed to hear that, because it was, you know, I hear people say it all the time, like, tell your story, don't be ashamed of your story, don't be ashamed of your story. And it's like, but I am ashamed. So you know, like,
and that's the part that people need to understand, that they're like, shame is an emotion, otherwise it wouldn't be named, you know. So it's like, a lot of people have to understand that when people are saying like, oh, just go from A to Z, that B through Y was horrible. You know, B through Y was very traumatic. It was very like, it was like self-breaking down. It was very dark. It was very devious. It was malicious. It was unintentional. Like these are emotions that we do feel. You know, a lot of the things that we do are out of like selfishness or regret or anger. And a lot of people want to ignore that, and you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it, because if that was the case, then these emotions would never exist. We can't go from one extreme to the next. I've learned about this emotion, and this was an emotion that I was named a numerous amount of times from like elementary through middle school. I was named like the Kumsi Kumba. It's an emotion where it's like you don't tend to feel too much. I've got that a lot. I don't know, because of like my sign or whatever the case is, but I've gotten like the Kumsi Kumba sign. And I recently talked about venting, right? Because venting actually taught me how to express other emotions other than being okay. All right, cool, I'm fine, whatever. You know, like I was like the whatever girl. Yeah. And I realized that Kumsi Kumba may just be my natural emotion, and that if venting made me come off super angry all the time versus just me wanting to be heard, that I would rather not vent, because I would rather feel safe knowing that I didn't open up another door where I have to feel more anger, and now I'm not allowed to express that anger because my vent already made you uncomfortable, you know? So there's so many emotions in between our process, and a lot of people are just scared to admit that. And I think for me, like you said, like I'm the voice of voices. I think for me, I just always been unapologetic, or just not scared to voice how scary it is, because in my mind I have nothing to lose anyway. My highest form is the moment that I step into the kingdom of God. So other than that, it's like I really have nothing else to lose, you know? And if what I'm saying may make someone uncomfortable, I'd rather uncomfortability than to lie, watching you go through something that can be explained. If it could be translated, it should be said, you know? So I think, you know, don't feel bad, but know that yes, shame is an emotion, regret is an emotion, guilt is an emotion. And I think we've been so programmed to not want to feel these things that we just tell people, hey, have a great day. Don't manifest a bad day because you're feeling bad, you know, and that's not possible. We have to feel bad days in order to recognize the good. Yes.
I learned that recently from my mentor. She was like that emotions last for 90 seconds. She mentioned that. I was like, 90 seconds? I'm like, because me, I used to be the type of person, same way like you, I used to vent. I used to speak a lot about how I felt, and it caused a lot of trouble in my life. So I shut down. I stopped speaking. Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm cool. But that didn't do it. That didn't serve me well either, you know. And then just being able to now name my emotions, and then learning this recent thing now where it's like it just takes 90 seconds. Now when I feel like I'm a little irritated, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, so that I can feel the emotion and let it go, because sometimes that 90 seconds feels like the longest 90 seconds. Sometimes you could let that go on for days. I mean, well, let me not say you, me. I used to be able to let that go on for days. And it's just like being able to recognize that it's like, all right, feel that emotion. It goes name that emotion, feel the emotion, and then let it go. You know, whatever you have to do to feel it, but let it go, and then do whatever you need to do to let it go, whether it's you know, getting a drink, even though I wouldn't recommend go drinking because it's not gonna
be my drink.
It was,
Oh, this is, by the way, this is also a Black-owned business, Red Wine Girl Time. This is by my good friend Saika Baines. Okay. She has a YouTube, songwriter, book writer. Like, she does it all. Like, you think I'm a mogul? No, she's a mogul.
Oh wow! If you can, just put it in the comments so that everyone can follow her. I like that. The glass is beautiful and the wine looks delicious, so I definitely will check it out. And then the last, when we finish, not the last, but the last sense that we have out of the 5 senses that God has divinely blessed us with, is the taste. So what does love taste like?
It tastes like chocolate. Chocolate has always been my first love when it comes to food. And recently I have a best friend in Florida. She actually gave me like some educational advice about why it is that I crave chocolate so much. And she told me that pretty much it helps balances out when I'm going through like a depressive state or a negative state, and I immediately go to chocolate. Chocolate is it's something in it that actually balances out the chemistry in your mood. So now that I know that, I make it intentional now to make sure that I have chocolate with me when I'm about to go through that depressive mood. And you know what's funny? During that time that I was depressed, I actually was out of chocolate. Like I went to go bake like brownies just so that way I could like try to get myself out of that mood. So yes, I think for me the taste of love is chocolate for me. Like
I love chocolate. I love.
somebody said oxtail potatoes. Oh yeah, Shatea. She said oxtail potatoes for sure.
I love me some oxtail. So yes, let me see. Love tastes like. I will agree with the chocolate because I love chocolate. I don't want to see. I'm a foodie, right? So I love food, and Babe and our love language, like from the time we linked back up, we reconnected with one another, it has been food. So like love, but ain't nothing like a home cooked meal. So like the taste of love is through that home cooked. Like my mother-in-law, she makes when she makes like stew chicken or pilau. Even Babe, when Babe is trying out new things, like new different dishes, you can taste the love. Like I think it was so funny story. Years ago, I was toking with Babe, and she made some lasagna, and
oh my gosh,
I took a peek, and this is when I was still new to the game of 420. So I took a bite, and her brother was cracking up because I was crying. It tasted so magical. I love lasagna, and I didn't know what it was. I don't know if it was the herbs. I don't know what, but I started crying, and I felt like, have you ever had like a meal that just is like it tastes like the first spoon is like orgasmic?
Yeah, my same friend Saika,
okay,
she cooks for me when I was on my weight gain journey, and she she was my chef, and I was just like, oh my gosh, everything that she made,
love,
like it was made with love.
Yes.
It was made with love, like
yes.
and you could tell, like even it's so weird because now even when I go to like a fast food restaurant, if whoever made my food was not in a good mood, I can taste that. Yes. That's the weirdest thing ever.
No, it's true.
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like
yes. The energy is literally
yes.
Like the energy.
Said everything tastes better that way.
Yes, it is.
It sure is.
My little sister, she had a moment. She was going through a little moment of like every time she eat and she like what it tastes like. It tastes like love. It tastes like love. It tastes good. This is really really good. It tastes like love. It tastes like love. And I'm like, I think she brought awareness to me where it's like, yeah, that's the taste when it's like the food is sweet. It's really really like Caribbeans will say, oh, your food's sweet, but it's good. Like it's the love that you taste, that you know that this person they put their foot in it, like that's foot of love in it. So yes, love tastes like a really good home cooked food, like home cooked meal. Like I know growing up, I'm pretty sure anybody on the live, like growing up and coming home on a Sunday from church, and you're smelling that food and tasting it and knowing it is like, oh Lord, make you want to do a dance.
Yes.
And then also Thanksgiving too. Thanksgiving is the day of where all your family members, well, not for everybody, but for the main reason of Thanksgiving is to bring together everybody to bond over food and that love that's made in every single dish. Like, people, grandmas and they mammies, they know what they doing and it's like, oh, what's the secret ingredient? I feel like most of those secret ingredients is love.
It's love.
It's
It's
love, that unique love of the creator. Like
yep.
in all aspects, as I just said, that in all aspects, whether you're cooking God up above, like that just divine love. So
yes, Sade, yes, Sade's another one that cooks with love. Miss Bess, she's one of those.
Oh yes.
Yep.
I love cooking the entire menu for Thanksgiving. I gotta get on that, and it's crazy because I just recently started cooking. 2020, I started really getting back into cooking, and now it's like, okay, I can taste Bae when she eats my little creation. She's like, this tastes like love. And I'm like, okay, because I know that I'm intentionally trying to put whatever love, that love of creating the meal inside the meal so that everybody can enjoy it. Because it's so true where it's like, have you ever ate something and you get like like a stomach virus or stomach flu?
Yes.
And now as we're talking, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, it's probably because that person's vibrations was low, you know.
Let me tell you a story time. It was one time I was working in Bright Horizons. It's on downtown, right? And I went to Starbucks, and I remember this young lady. She was a barista, and she just had an attitude the entire time, to the point where I'm like, Miss, like, I used to work for Starbucks. Like, just listen to what I'm like, how I'm telling you to make my food, my drink. And no lie, I left. I took 2 sips of that drink, and by the time I made it back to the daycare, I was in the bathroom, and I was just like, I am never, like, that was that moment where I swore off. If I see anybody have an attitude while making my food, I'm asking for a refund. Yeah. And no lie, like, it was literally her vibration. Like, she was just angry with the world, and she may have not done nothing wrong. The milk, I'm pretty sure it was not spoiled, because Starbucks do not operate where they have anything expired. You get what I'm saying? And I was just like, it was literally her attitude, and it made me sick. I was like, never again. Never again. Like, that energy. Yep. Sade said, leave it on the counter. Yep.
Leave it on the counter.
Leave it on the counter.
No, seriously, I make it a due diligence where it's like, if I'm somewhere and I'm trying to order from you and you're not really vibing, I have that free choice and free will to walk away. Because if I ingest, I don't know, you know, you can ingest it and then you're sick and you're like, damn, I knew I should have followed my intuition, you know, or follow my mind, follow my gut, and just leave. You know, I've been stuck with, I've gotten flu virus, stomach viruses, and it's like, bro, like, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, normally I never get a stomach virus when I'm home or I'm eating home cooked food, you know, it's only outside. So it's like, now I'll be more conscious and more aware. Like, as you mentioned, you know, as you said, your story, I will now be more aware of, like, all right, let me see what your vibe feel like, or what your energy is. If you're rude, it's like, I don't think I want from here. Like, you know, it's not you. I just need to make sure that
exactly. It may not be them, it may not be the food, but if they're in that moment, just like Sade is saying, you need to vibrate high in order to serve people. You know, like,
I want no part of negative energy when you eat. Because also too, what I learned is, like, even if you're eating things that, like, let's say you're on a diet and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna eat chips, but you wind up craving chips. You bless the food and then eat it. Like, don't just say, oh no, I know I'm not supposed to be eating these chips, because the energy that you're putting into yourself, saying these things, you're
gonna automatically reject it.
Your body's already like, that's why, I don't know if you ever seen a post, it was like, don't joke on yourself, because your body doesn't recognize the difference, you know? Your body doesn't recognize that difference in whether, oh, this food is good or this food is not. It's what you say and how you feel on the inside while you're eating this meal. I want no part. And I do not like negative energy when it comes to food. Like, don't get it twisted. When I'm hungry, sometimes I need a little Snickers. But when I eat, I be happy. I don't have time. I like to dance while I'm eating. I do a little dance. I cannot deal with the negative energy at the table when we are eating, please. Because that energy, it transfers. Like, it does. Literally transfers, and it's not destroyed. Like, people's energies do not get destroyed. It just gets transferred. You understand? And renewed. Like, you could either renew it or you could transfer it. Like, and some people unintentionally, they transfer that energy onto things. Like, sitting with a whole group of people, and you have that one solid person, everybody might end up getting sick, you know, but off of that one person and their vibes, and sometimes they don't even know. So it's like, also for yourself, I will always make sure that while I'm cooking or if I'm around food, as much as something may annoy me, I may stub my toe. I'm gonna feel that emotion, but I'm not gonna let it mess up the vibe, because it really does play a big part, you know, in what you ingest and what your body is gonna accept and reject. Great point. Yeah.
I love that last one a lot. Like I do, I really do love that last one. I think love has to be incorporated when you are cooking, when you are tasting food. It has to be incorporated, because that's what's going into our bodies. So
and if your body doesn't if your body doesn't accept it, then clearly that's something that it's deeper than the actual meal. You know, sometimes it can be the actual meal, sometimes it can be the ingredients, but other times it can be just that energetic transfer, you know, that just doesn't work with you. And let me see. I think that's the last two things, but we're gonna go to the last two things that I wanted to discuss with you, or I wanted to ask you rather, is what does growth look like to you?
Growth to me is literally releasing the temptation to do what was a bad habit. Because sometimes, yes, we can have the free will to not do something because we know it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't misbehave because I know it's going to make my mother angry, versus I can't misbehave because I just choose not to. I don't want to. I don't feel the need to misbehave. I think a lot of the time, when I think about growth, I pay more attention to the fact that does it make me feel good to know that I didn't do it, or am I still lingering on the fact that I really want to do it, but I know I'm going to be judged if I do it. And once I reach that level of I simply just don't want to do it, I have no temptation to do it, that's when I knew I grew.
That's a really good one. That's a really, 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 really good one. Just that I actually have a book staring at me dead in my soul that I haven't picked up yet. Jen Sincero, Bad Habits, Badass Habits, because I think I do myself have habits that I've dealt with, bad habits that I've dealt with, and I see the growth. I can now recognize it as like, oh yeah, I grew from that. You know, I used to do this, or I used to believe that this was the way of doing this, or how to, even if it's something so small as like brushing your teeth, you know, it's like, check you out, you growing, you know. So definitely, like, yeah, definitely. And then the last one, so just a little bit about Crew. LiveSlayCru, we are a safe space brand for Black women, holistic women wellness. I offer healing crystals if you guys are interested in crystals. Yoni universal herbal blends that you can use as a yoni steam, a drinking tea for your womb as well. And we also have really beautiful goddess adornments. So I hope you guys follow. And the main basis of Crew is for women to be able to reconnect with our femininity. As I am on my self-love journey, and as I am learning, what came up for me was I didn't know how to be feminine. You could agree with me, living in Brooklyn, feminine wear, okay?
Yeah.
Especially growing up, we climbing with the
I'm
boys.
ready for this
we
one.
Everything with the boys. We doing everything with the boys. Oh, remember when girls like, oh no, I'm only cool with guys, like little things of that nature. Like, I used to be that. So, you know, femininity is something that is not, there's no one definition for femininity. All of us women, we are all different, but we all are here for a collective purpose. We are important. We are priority. Society puts out there that we are supposed to come second best, and honestly, we are the first. Okay. Yes. We are the main, we are the creators of life. And I just feel like I never knew that, and not knew it. I knew it, but I never really embodied it. Until I got the knee scars. You and I, girl, I'm pretty sure we all got all the scars to
Yes, we do.
We used to rough house with the boys. And just being able to receive, just being able to receive and live and thrive in our divine femininity, because people will tell you that, oh, being emotional and being this, you won't be successful. And then that causes you to more move on your masculine side. And I've been operating from my masculine energy for God knows how long, and just
I've been operating there way too long.
Yeah, way too long.
Way too long.
Way too long. And I'm on this journey, you know, of just reawakening and learning who I am as a woman, because this is something that, just for me personally, this is something that's generational. It wasn't just me. It was my mom. It was my mom, you know. So I feel like as I'm on this journey and I'm healing my femininity, and I'm sharing this beautiful gift with other women too, we are all healing. I don't really like to say break generational curses. I like to say heal, because when you heal the curses, or when you heal the curses, you're able to evolve, and then they're no longer there. When you break something, it kind of breaks into tiny pieces, and you got to make sure you have every little piece. You know, I realized that I don't no longer want to say I'm breaking generational curses. What I want to say is that I'm healing them, because it's putting a Band-Aid on it and then they'll heal, you know, opposed to just
I agree.
ripping it, you know, no. I feel like sometimes breaking is a little bit too rough. And as I'm trying to move within my feminine essence, it's just, I want to be able to be more soft and gentle, you know, with myself, with others, the things that attain qualities within myself that I can teach my daughters, you know, that I wasn't taught that I could teach my daughters. So what is femininity for you, Karina? Because let me tell you guys real quick, Karina is a woman, okay? She be on the gram like, okay, and I feel like you exude the femininity, that essence, that you are the living essence of femininity, you know. That could only be for me looking from the outside, you know, but I just see it in you. I see it in how you move. I see it in how you speak, like, and I know it's like, you know, we can be feminine, but don't play that, you know, because I still so like, what does femininity look like, feel like to you?
Femininity, it's so weird, because as a woman, it's something that I really had to learn. I had to learn what it's like to actually be an Ezer. I had to learn what it's like to be a lady. Femininity is literally shamelessly holding men accountable to being men for me. And what I realized growing up is, number one, my family is very scarce of men. We don't have too many men, literally. Like, it's just a bunch of women. Wow. We have been seated. We have grown. And there are no men present. And there are men existing, but there's no men that are present. And that's because our masculine nature has taken over our feminine nature in my family. And therefore, the men are their presence is just non-existent. They're existing as far as maybe something broken, they fix it.
Yeah.
And that's because they live where they are. So that's what they do. But when it comes to them being present, as far as making sure that we are safe, making sure that we don't have to carry up the laundry, making sure that we aren't fighting our own battles, making sure that, you know, they are the ones that are coming with us to price a car, fix an oil change, fix a tire, things like that, where men are supposed to be present. I realize they lack, you know, especially when it comes to protection. And one thing I started doing now as a woman is that I started holding men accountable. If you're going to say good morning to me every morning, when you see me walk outside with a shovel, you take that shovel out of my hand. Yeah. Do not allow me to shovel my car. You know, like, if you see me walking home with groceries and you just have to ask me for my number, help me carry this bag to my door. Right. Yeah. And I feel like certain things where I've been taught, and I think I've been taught to pretty much be the boy of the house, because my mom has no sons, my dad has no sons. So I was the one to lift couches when my mother sweeps underneath the couch, and I was the one to like reach for high places and things like that. I was literally trained to be a boy, like a man. And I realized that even things like me changing my light bulb, I need help with that now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, because it's not just because, oh, well, because I'm a woman, I'm ditzy or whatever, I'm dainty. No, it's legit like these are things that men should be doing. It's hard for me to reach for these type of things. I don't have ladders in my house. I should not be trying to fix cracks in the ceiling. I should not be trying to repaint a home. And these are things that women in a whole are women that lack the presence of men. They're always afraid to ask men for help. And I think that we put it on ourselves to be in place of a man, knowing that we have other things that we should be doing as women. And I do not want to hold up my time doing things that I need to be doing as a woman because, oh, well, you know, it's, you know, society now, if you're a woman that asks a man for help, you're a gold digger or you're lazy or you're dependent, you're codependent. No, these are things that men should be doing. If you're a man in my life and I ask you for help because I got a flat tire, then you should be honored to come and change my flat tire for me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that when I dive into my femininity and I start to allow men to just be present as men, if I need help with something that is out of the regular norm for me as a woman, I think that I should not feel ashamed to do that. And I think that right there is something that I had to really learn. Like I had to learn that my femininity is to be used to do things that my womanly body should not be doing. Amen. I should not be shoveling snow. The one, like literally I shovel snow 3 times this year for the first time in my life because I have a car. And legit, I felt the pain for at least 2 weeks at a time. And I realized this is really something that women should not be doing. Women should not be shoveling.
No,
it's not something for our bodies to be doing. You know, I've done a lot of things. I carry my own laundry and everything, but I've built dressers, I've carried my own AC, but shoveling, that's where I draw the line. I was like, no, it's something for a man to do. You know, and femininity is learning when to step back and allow the man to be the man. And then also, when I said that it's learning to be an Ezer. So when you're an Ezer, you learn that you are the brain and the man is the machine. So once you're an Ezer with good intentions, the man is the machine to execute the plan.
Yes. I was just about to say that.
A lot of us don't know that. And a lot of us, you know, we say like, oh, you know, men are supposed to lead. Yes, men are supposed to lead when it comes to providing and protecting. But when it comes to executing plans, we are the brain. We are the ones that assist and they're the ones that execute. And a lot of us have to learn how to not step into that feminine energy. Especially, it's hard when you're single as well. But when you learn that is who you are naturally, then you know, all right, if I'm running a business with a man, I know that I have the logistic power and the rationality in that moment to let him know, like, listen, you're going to be the face of this. You're going to go into that meeting and you're going to strong arm them however we want. But make sure that X, Y, and Z is said. X, Y, and Z is placed in action. And they're the ones that go in and do the thing, you know, because we already know men rule the world. But what type of men are ruling the world right now? It's the men that are literally the batteries are being placed by the wrong women. So as long as we know that we are the good battery and we have the good intention to get things done, the men are the machine that executes it. Definitely. So that for me, that is what femininity is. Like, you have to know when to step back and when to be the brain of the operation.
Yes. That is something that I learned. That is something that I had to learn. And you know, moving in your masculine, I hope I don't speak only for myself, but just moving in your masculine, that ego that your masculine side holds, it fucks with you, you know, because it's like you want to ask for help, but it's like you're not, and you kind of open up yourself to receive it, but it may not be how you expect it to. And then it's like, oh, nah, I'm just going to do it. Like, I am guilty of that, you know, I'm just going to do it. And it's like, I feel like even watching my mom, you know, I watched my mother not really moving her femininity, not sit back and receive. You know, my father, he wasn't in the home, so it wasn't like there was a male figure. And the male figures that did come around, they helped out as much as they can, but to see, like, I've never really seen my mom exude in her own feminine essence. You know, I've seen it in little ways, but just to sit back and say, okay, well, I know I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like, let me get this person to do this for me. You know, it's only now as I'm older, I see that it's like, yeah, there's certain things that I don't require to do it, and I don't have to do. You know, all I really have to do, and I always say it, like, the household is the women are the channel. You understand? We are the people, we are the channel to the spirit. The spirit, we get our ideas. Our womb is not just to create babies. Our womb is to create life. You understand?
Yes.
Life is not just only in human form, but we birth so many different things, so much greatness. You understand? Depending on everybody, because sometimes you can subconsciously birth negativity, you know, just based on, you know, you can, we have that channel, like that, and that channel is so powerful.
We are the channel.
We could literally birth our desires, we can birth our life. You know, we can, when we are in a household with a man, we can be able to grow the household. Yes, the man is supposed to go out and do the labor, the hard work, the hands-on work, and we sit back and we keep the house, you know, not being a housewife, but kind of sort of, yes, keeping everything together
in place.
You understand? Everything in place, so that when the man comes back, it's like, okay, cool, what's the next step? What is the next thing for me to do? You know, what is the next thing that I need you to do? We as women, we're supposed to sit back and thrive in that essence, and that softness, the gentleness, the gracefulness. And I'm on that journey of learning that and actually really stepping into it without shame, like you said, because it's like, it's also a shame, like, which kind of gets disguised as ego, you know, where it's like, I don't know if I really want to kind of ask this person for help. Like, I've been in situations, and then also just being a Black woman in America, everybody expects you to be a superwoman. Everybody expects you to be this strong woman. Like, I just finished reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and literally, like, in the book, I don't know if you guys ever read it, but in the book, they show that they were in a hospital, and the doctors walked past all the white, you know, made sure all the white women were good, and then here goes to the black woman, and they're like, oh no, she's as strong as a stallion or something. I don't want to misquote, but it was something similar to that, where it's like, we see, and imagine a book that
they teach themselves so long
ago. We're still seeing it in our everyday lives, where our women are being killed, you understand, in the healthcare system, because they believe you're strong. You're supposed to be the strong Black woman. Yes, they're strong. We are strong, but there's a gentleness, you understand, that we have to be able to exude, or a grace that comes with that strength. It's not just a physical strength. You know, it's literally, I feel like Black women, we need to be able to step back and say, yes, help me out with this thing. Don't ask me for my number. Don't feel like you want to lay down with me because I just have this in between my legs. Like, no, it's more to me than just that, you know. And you as a man, you need to be able to show up. And the more, I believe, the more we show up in our feminine essence, men in turn will show up in their masculine presence.
Yes.
Well, you understand? And once that becomes that cycle that changes everything, you know. But I just believe, you know, growing up, most of us have single parents. Well, I had a single parent, you know, and just seeing how our mothers had to take on everything, you know, everything. And then people who have sons, sometimes they put them in that, they don't really, it's not hard. We can't show a man how to be a man. You understand? We can only try to show them how to treat us, and how to serve and protect us as well. You know, I feel like sometimes with that, you know, I'm so for protect Black women, you know, because we are not protected. But I feel like we're not protected because now men tend to be a little bit threatened by that masculine energy that we continuously.
You know what it is? Like, what's happening now is that the moment we as Black women say we're strong, they take it and run with it. Oh, you strong? All right, so build a house yourself. Carry that AC yourself. Shovel your own snow.
Protect yourself from this person.
Lift your stroller yourself. And it's like, why are you taking it to that extreme?
Yeah.
And that's because you want to take it to that extreme. You already know as a woman, I can't do these things on my own. So why are you enjoying the fact that, because I said I'm strong, because mentally I was able to pull myself out of something that no one else was available to help me pull myself out of, because I said I'm strong, you took that and you ran with it. It's because that's what you wanted to do in that moment. That's because no one held you accountable to being in your masculine energy to step in and say, yes, you are strong, but you are physically not capable to do this. Which is why I always tell people, I always lead with this when I talk about femininity. I am not a feminist. I am feminine, I am female, I am woman, I am lady, I am girl, but I am not a feminist because at the end of the day, I recognize that I am a woman. I will never be able to replace a man, ever. So don't ever come to me with, well, you wanted equal rights. No, I don't. Kill that bug for me. Kill the bug for me. Take out the trash. Walk me out of my car.
Society, and it's just that society just really puts that, like, it's like instead of us having to pair up, these two sexes, we are bashing one another. It's like, and it's like, no, like, be able to protect, like, we do need protection. Like, yes, we are strong, but we need protection. Yes, we are strong, but we do need help. Yes, we are strong, but we do have emotions. Yes, we are strong, but we are human. You understand? Same way that you guys, that men are human, we are human, same way. You know, I feel like that importance that we don't see within ourselves of, like, being that channels for life, being able to grow life, birth life. We see it, we understand it, but it's very, like, basic. It's not, like, in depth of, like, oh, okay, you know, because I could speak for myself and say my past failed relationships was because I didn't understand my worth. You understand? I didn't know how beautiful, you know, how beautiful and how powerful I am as a woman. It's like, it's only now that I wake up and I'm like, thank God I'm a woman. Like, I don't want to be nothing else. Like, thank you, God, for making me a woman. Like, thank you, you know, because that is, I feel like now it's an honor. Back in the days, I just thought, okay, yeah, you know, I'm a boy, you're a girl, that's that, you know. But once that worth of knowing who you are as a woman, no man can ever step to you, quote unquote, man can ever step to you and show you anything else, because you know who you are and what you and your purpose as being a woman on this earth, you know. Like, I see people put, like, let's restore natural order where the woman is the head of the household. And it's like, when you really sit back and think about it, yes, the women are the head of the household. They are the ones that create that plan. You're the one that have the dreams and you understand, we carry that. You want to create a family, you can't create a family with another man. You have to create a family with us. You understand?
With us. So
it's just like understanding that worth and knowing that we are important too. This patriarchal society of, like, oh, women, we just gonna throw y'all to the side, or, oh, y'all are just a item of sex, you know, or an item, like, no, it should be, it has to be more of an understanding. Men hold the physical strength, we hold the mental. And that's what builds the foundation. Exactly. That's exactly what builds that foundation. And I feel like there's a lot of misses going on in the world because everybody think, well, one, social media, what social media says, some people think that that's the law. You know, that's law. What social media says is law. And it's like, no, it's not. You know, and then when you see social media and then you don't have that environment that shows you, or the people or the men, like the older men, they're not showing the younger men to protect Black women. You understand? These younger men now, they feel like, oh, women, we are just supposed to be an object of sexual desire and pleasure, you know? And it's like, bro, it's more than that, you know? And the more we as women, and the more that I am growing on my journey, the more I'm learning my worth. It's like, yeah, I know nobody could come to me with no left shit. You know, nobody could come to me and tell me, oh, no, this is how I'm supposed to be. Like, it's not supposed to be controlled. Like, as you talk about love is a freedom, right? You don't go in a relationship, you don't be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't give you or allow you your freedom, because you have your freedom. You are your own person. You have free will and free choice. When you are with somebody that tries to grasp that and take that away from you, that's not the person for you, you know? And if you don't know, like me, if you didn't know your worth, you know, you think, oh, I'm not doing something right, or, oh, I need to follow this, or, oh, I need to follow that. You know, I need to follow what this man is saying, because if he doesn't want me, I'm nothing. You know, if he doesn't want me, my womanhood doesn't mean anything. It's not, you know, it doesn't mean anything. And it's like, no, you know, you have to be able to allow that freedom for both parties, allow a woman to be a woman, but protect the woman in the same notion. Allow, like, I've seen people talk about recently, you know, postpartum depression as well, where it's like women, they go through these emotional and physical changes within their bodies, and before the men go and say, okay, let me try, I'll hold your hand and we'll walk you through this, they want to go and jump to the next girl, you understand? And they think like, and they themselves are damaged too, you know, they have healing that they need to do as well. And I feel like the more we as women, the more because we are the head, like you said, you're the and the men are the body. Once we show and start to exude that worthiness of knowing who we are and what we have to bring to the table, because when I see the memes, and it's like, what I bring to the table, and the lady put the pussy on it, yes, because that's priceless. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's priceless. That's something that you can't have. You can't physically create. You can't create shit without me. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, if that's just the pussy that I'm bringing to the table, it's more than that, you know. But I'm saying, like, if it just looks like that to you, then hey, you know, you're not ready to see me in my full feminist, womanly, woman stuff, feminine self, you know. So I definitely agree. Like, and yes, women, if you guys are out there, hold men accountable. Hold them accountable, because yes, we need protection. Yes, we are worthy of protection. Yes, we are worthy of freedom. You can be free to live your life and love your life and be in a relationship. Don't let nobody tell you how to dress. Don't let nobody tell you how to speak. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. If you are an outspoken Black woman, be that. Be who you are. Feminine, like being a feminist, not feminist, excuse me. Femininity is all about literally being in your authentic essence, and then thriving and thriving in it. You know, just being who you are. If anybody comes around, any man comes and tries to literally remove who you are, you know, or your being, that's not the person for you. And once you know your worth, you know you have that free will and that free choice and that love of self. Because it's not, oh, this man loved me, so therefore I'm worthy. No, I'm worthy because I love myself. You understand? Anything else that comes from that's not me. I have that free choice to walk away. You know, that's the beauty. We have that, we carry that, and we are mentally strong. As much as they say, oh, you know, don't cry. Like I tell people all the time, now I'm an advocate for crying. Cry until you can't cry no more, because there's a release in crying, and once you release, you're clearing that channel for beauty to come. You understand? For something new to come, you know. So I love your answer. I really do, and I'm gonna make it my duty to make sure that I'm right with you. I'm always with the, you know, protect Black women, but this time it's like, if I gotta hold this man accountable, yes, you are a man, you need to do X, Y, and Z. I'm not doing it. If you're trying to come and talk to me and I have bags in my hand, carry my bags.
Carry my bags.
That's how I know.
That's exactly how I operate now, because at the end of the day, it's like, and you know, it's funny. I wanted to talk about that. What do you bring to the table thing, right? But yeah, so back to like the whole women having like this restraint on saying when we need help, and men pretty much pulling the plug on us asking them for help. If that's the case, then you do not deserve to be with a woman. That's number one, because your woman will always need help physically. We are not strong enough to do what you guys are capable of doing. Secondly, the whole, what do you bring to the table? Because I'm a man, I do my own laundry, I cook my own food, I take care of my own house, everything like that. I remember I made a post about that, and I was like, if we are on a date, right? And I think there's a shameless plug for myself. I am a poet. I am a human activist, which means anything that happens unfairly to any ethnicity, any human being, I will advocate when there is a wrongdoing, that it needs to be right. Okay. I am pro-Black, which means everything I have on me is all Black. Hair revamped by a Black woman, lashes by a Black woman, lip gloss by a Black woman. I am drinking out of a glass by a Black woman. I am wearing a Black woman's dress. Okay, I am pro-Black. I am also an author. I also have my own book. I also have my own fragrance line, perfume and cologne for both men and women. And I am also a mother, right? So you see all of what I have done in my life and what I am continuing to do, and what you're probably going to see more of me doing more, right? And you sit at a table with me on a date and you ask me, what do I bring to the table? So forget the fact that I've served in the Army. I am also a marksman. I have done exquisitely well to the point where people used to pay me to write their English papers. Forget all of that. But you have the nerve to ask me, what do I bring to the table? The only thing that I'm going to think that you either want is either just sex from me, or you want to use me for money.
Oh, because some of them be looking for mothers. But
exactly.
That's a whole nother story.
Exactly.
They be looking for mamas.
So women, when a man asks you that question, don't entertain it. You walk away. Because in the life that we are living right now, in the era of social media, where everyone can see what it is that you do for a living, anything you do for a living is valuable to the person that you are going to be in a relationship with. I don't care what it is that you do for a living, but if people can see even just a dose of what you do for a living, then they know what type of person that you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you are creative, whether you are blue collar, white collar, whether you are a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, an activist, a makeup artist, an author, an artist itself, a music producer, a singer, a writer, it doesn't matter. Social media has given everyone at least that access to see what this person is interested in. Unless you're somebody that does not post on social media. Even then, the question alone, what can you bring to the table, is very offensive. Women do not ever continue to date. You know what you do? You ask for the check, you pay your portion of the bill, and you walk out.
Yeah. That's
okay. Do not allow men to ask you, what do you bring to the table? The same way I would never advocate for women to ask that question either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that we have gotten into that era of
it's very vague. No, I'm just saying that bringing this is very vague. It doesn't build any. It doesn't leave any substance to a relationship. You know,
right? It's
like what are you trading Pokemon cards? You know,
exactly, exactly. We're not trading Pokemon cards. We're not trading valuables or diamonds. We are literally on a date to see how we complement each other. Because technically speaking, you gotta bring shit to my table. I've been single long enough.
Period.
Okay, do you compliment me and do I compliment you? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Can I have fun with you? Yeah. Can I adore you and you accept that adoration? And can you do the same for me?
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't need to bring nothing to my table. I've been eating before you got here. Ooh. And that's what I think about when it comes to femininity. I've been eating before I got here. But one thing for sure, can I break that table down? No, I can't break that table down, but you can break it down. That's when your masculine energy comes in. Break the table down for me. Put the chairs up for me. Okay? Reach certain things I can't reach.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lift the stove while I clean under it.
Be my man.
Yep.
Just be my man.
Do we compliment each other?
Be my man. Yes, do the manly things that you are here to do. No, for real. They like, and you see the spice. You guys just seen that little spiciness. That's what I love. Like that's the one thing that I love. Like, and I love that about you. Like, you're so spicy. You're like, black men, da 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 da, like. Like, I really admire that so much about you, Karina. Like, you are a powerhouse, like power and a force, okay? You are a womanly force to be reckoned with. Like, and I know when it comes to dating with you, like, men have to come correct, okay?
They do.
Me and hubby work in harmony. See, and that's the thing.
You know what's
like,
funny? So Shataya, which is I Am Locked and Loaded, she's one of my favorite married couples. I may have never told you this, but she's one of those people, like, I have so many married friends now, and I feel like my generation started getting it right. They started marrying their soulmates. They started marrying men that compliment them. They started marrying men that accept them for who they are. They started marrying men that actually enjoy them. They married people that they actually like. And Shataya is one of those people. And I want people to understand that you have to like your spouse. Okay? Getting married is not about going to war. And I don't know where this connotation, matter of fact, I'm not going to say where it came from. I think we've all seen where it came from. We came from the generation that watched married couples just go to war with each other. They don't like each other. They wake up, they hate each other. They don't kiss each other goodbye. You know, like if the spouse died, they really don't care. They care more about how much they have to pay for the funeral than actually losing the person they married to. You get what I'm saying? So I think our generation has actually learned to get it right. And I am happy that she said that me and hubby work in harmony. Yes. How do you compliment me and how do I compliment you? That's what marriage is about. That's what our partnership is for.
It's not a matter of what we're giving to one another. All of that comes with the relationship. It's just that harmonious, being able to have that partnership, that harmony in the partnership, you know, because it's important. There's an importance to two, the number two, of having two people, you know, like how God, the Noah Ark, you know, it was two, that importance of that number two, having that partnership and being able to work in harmony for a bigger purpose. You know, like Neo said, I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force, you know, when we're together, where it's like, relationships work. You are a movement by yourself, but when you have that second person that compliments you, compliments your being, compliments your future, you know, that's the foundation that becomes unshakable and unbreakable, especially when you like, because it's more than love. People feel like, oh, you know, I'm gonna fall in love and I'm gonna go get married, and it's like, no, sometimes you have to like the person too, because like them. Is this a face you want to wake up to every morning, and why do you want to wake up to them every morning? You know what I'm saying? Like, ask yourself those questions. And I think that is something that's a big step that older generations missed. You know, like I have a friend that we used to make this joke that, because I'm Grenadian and Trinidadian and she's Grenadian, and we always made this joke that Grenadian women, as long as they have a carpenter, they don't care what the man could be doing. He could be haunting them. Doesn't matter. As long as he's a carpenter, that is a top tier man, and they keep him. They could not like this man for the love of God. They cannot like this man. But you know what? He a carpenter. He gonna be in my house. No, that's not how that works. No, find you a carpenter that you like, sis. Because you're gonna be unhappy. Like, literally, I can agree to that. Where it's like, you've been with someone just because, you know, whatever, but it's like, no, it goes a little deeper than that. And it's like also too, just finding that love within yourself, because you can't give love if you don't have love, if you don't know what love is. What I'm learning is that you know, if you can't give love, you don't know what love is. And if you don't have love to give, or you don't know how, you can't recognize the love that you give. You know, because that's another part of playing your worth, where it's like, I know what I give. I know the love that I can give, because I give that love to myself every single day. You know, are we going to compliment one another? You know, I just feel our parents and grandparents, they went through, you know, also the environment. We could say back then things weren't as easy to be in a black love. You know how we're all like now power, you know, black love, black love, black love, black love. Our ancestors, our mothers, our fathers, they didn't have that leeway of able to say, yeah, we are in black love, and be outspoken about it. You understand? Right. There were struggles that they had to face as well, you know, that they couldn't separate the outside life from that partner, the divine partnership of you and that person. You know, sometimes life gets to you and it's hard to not separate it. Sometimes it just permeates and it just becomes your whole entire life, you know? So yeah, no, we build stuff, he puts it together. I support him making a bigger picture that comes together. Yeah, see, like my girlfriend, like, and things are a little different. So like my girlfriend, she is feminine, but she more identifies on her masculine energy. So it's like, yeah, that's she opens the door for me, and I'll be like, and before I used to be like, since we both, I can open up my own door too. I'll open up the door for you. And now it's like I gotta sit back and give myself a restraint where it's like, no. You know, and sometimes, and then I also being with her had to also remember, because she could be so masculine at times, that I gotta be like, all right, she's a woman. Like, don't forget, she has emotions, she has feelings, she wants to be nurtured as well, same way that she nurtures you. So it teaches me for compromise as well, because compromise is extremely important in love. So,
you know what's funny? I would say this, right? Because, and it's so weird, but I'm somebody that believes that there is no compromise in real love. I feel like when two people match, even if they're opposite pieces, they still match and make the puzzle whole, right? I think what it is you became self-aware. Okay. So whenever you made different movements that you're used to in old relationships, it doesn't feel like a compromise. It feels like you're helping yourself out at this point.
I like that.
So when you have self-awareness, you don't mind being self-aware for your girlfriend because you love her.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah. 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 I like, so yeah. That's basically, you basically broke it down for me, because I was going to say compromise, but no, it's more than a compromise. It's actually self-awareness, because compromising is limiting yourself to make the other party happy. Yeah. You know, so you're so right. You're so right. Like, and it's like same thing. She'll build stuff in the house, or if I need help with something, well, yeah, because I don't really like building things together. So I'll be like, babe, can you build this for me? She'd be like, really? And I have to remember where it's like, sometimes if she doesn't want to do it, it's like, all right, like, you know, she's not a man. Like, she's not supposed to be throwing her body out on the line for me. So we gotta work together. They'll try to work together. Even though she'll still take it on, because that's just her. That's the energy that works for her. And she is masculine presenting as well. Well, not presenting, because she looks very feminine. I don't know why people would think that she's a guy, but you know, she just presents. She dresses in the masculine energy. She more so thrives in her masculine energy. But she taught me as well just femininity, which is so crazy, right? Because you would think, because she presents masculine, she has that dominance characteristic about her, that she would teach me about femininity. But she's so gentle and so soft to the touch, and she, the things that she does and how she takes care of herself, and then how I mentioned earlier how she lotioned my hands and really took care of herself and showed like that love within herself. It's like she really did teach me as well, like little things about being feminine and being nurturing to others, because it has that nurturing spirit within her that is like, I want to awaken that too. Like, that is a part of being a woman, being able to nurture, you know, nurture other people, nurture yourself, nurture your children. So yeah, that like I just love it. Like I love it. Like, and I love the points that you brought, you know, just in general about femininity, being a humanist, because a human advocate for humans, because it's not just, that's what I'm working on, nurturing myself and others openly. Yeah. And I don't even know what nurture looks like, you know, like it's crazy, because it's like my mom, she had to work all the time. She didn't have time to nurture. She had time to nurture where it was like, you guys have to eat and you guys have to have a roof underneath your head.
I've always said that our parents were great providers, but when it came to being actual guardians, I don't think they really knew what that looked like. Yeah, they didn't know. So it's literally like, it's something new for all of us. And I feel like when it comes to being a guardian is literally you guarding your child or offspring or your adoptive child, whoever it is that you are watching over. You're protecting them from anything that can cause them harm. We were exposed to everything, but we were well fed. We're clean. You know, and we had clothes. That's about it.
That was about it.
So we grew up on survival. A lot of us really grew up on survival. We didn't really grow up on love. So we're literally learning as first generation, especially into this country, especially from being children of immigrants, we are learning how to cater to love, and it's something new. And I realized that when you're catering to love, the feeling has to feel intentional and has to feel good. I think we all know when we are doing something intentionally bad. I think we all know when we're being selfish. And I think what your girlfriend has taught you, especially because you've been together for so long, she taught you how to be intentionally good and how to open up, because this was not Ebony 6 years back.
It wasn't.
You know, it's definitely not Ebony and H&M. You know what I'm saying? This is not Prima in H&M how many years ago, you know? So I think once we're learning what love really feels like and how we are brought back to our natural state, and how our natural state can actually serve somebody else without us losing ourselves, that is where you see the core of your love, you know? So I think a lot of people should have this focus of where is the core of my love, and how can I use this core to serve not only myself, but everyone that I say I love. You know?
I grew up on struggle, on survival. I had the love, but you know, I guess I didn't recognize, or I wasn't too. I didn't recognize it. You know, I had the love there, but and what I thought was love wasn't. You know, so and as I sit back and I think about my mom now, and it's like, as much as, you know, we kind of grew up on survival. She didn't have time to nurture, but like that grace, you know, of like, all right, you know, your mom's not, she's a human being too, you know, our parents are human beings too, and they just eat, and I don't have any children, so I could only, it wasn't love you knew how to receive. Basically, you know, and I don't have any children, so I don't know, I can't relate to knowing like I have a mouth to feed. It's not just me anymore. You understand? I have a mouth to feed, and it was me and my brother. May he rest in peace, but it was me and my little brother. So imagine 2 mouths to feed, and it's just you. You know, no help from the outside, no none of that. You know, my mom, she's a pharmacist, so she makes too much money to get assistance. So it's like,
and that's the rough part.
Yeah. So she had to really bust her ass to make sure we were good, you know. And I it's only now that I'm older and I'm loving myself and I'm coming into myself and I'm learning more about myself, I can sit back and say, you know, it was love. It was love, because other people I've seen, there's other people that go through that struggle and they give up. You know, they be like, I don't know what the hell to do, and they'll go and, like, for example, put the kid up for adoption. My mother didn't do that. You know, she didn't do that. She stuck it through. And as much as I wanted to be coddled maybe, and I deserve that, because I was worthy of that, of being coddled and taken care of and nurtured. I have to understand that she loved me she showed me that love in a different way. You know, it wasn't the way that I wanted it to be. And I think that probably kind of distorted my view of love. As I'm talking to you right now, it just is coming up where it's like, I think that distorted my view of love. And that's why I went out expecting that love outside, because I didn't know I didn't know if I was worthy of holding that type of love, or the love that I know that I have now within, you know. So I definitely, I agree with everything that you said. Like, I really love everything that you, like, I feel like you were talking to me too. I feel like, you know, love is a feeling, and love is knowing too. You know, like knowing that you wake up every morning and that's love from the divine. You can, once you wake up every morning, you know, okay, God loved me this much that he woke me up. These are the things I think about, how our parents, all parts of us. They do.
Whether they're there or not, our parents impact all parts of us, no matter what.
Overcome and blossom and pass back and share. like, I want to make sure that it's like, I could be as sure as possible, but I would like to try to heal as much as I can by myself, so I can create, when I have my child, I don't have to deal, she doesn't have to deal with, you know, mommy always working, because she has to make sure everybody, like, I want to be able to nurture and care. But if I don't know, if I can't recognize that within me, how will I be able to give it to my daughter? You know, I want to be able to learn how I nurture my beautiful way, authentic way of nurturing, you know, and then be able to provide that to my daughter, so that, you know, come the generations to come, there isn't any lack anymore. That lack that I experienced, that lack is no longer there. You know, it's all just rooted in love, like, as a whole. So I was saying, yeah, so once God wakes you up every morning, how I think is like, wow, God, you love me so much that you woke me up this morning. And because of that, I have to in turn pay it forward. You know, it's kind of like when somebody gives you a blessing, and like they give you money or they give you something and they're like, oh, pay it forward. It's like, that's how I look at it, where it's like, God wakes you up, he carries you, protects you, everything. You know, find that love within first. And just knowing that God, that knowing of God and the divine loving you and the universe loving you and working towards your desires and your soul's desires and your goals, it's like you have no other choice but to love yourself in return. You know, when you don't love yourself in return, that becomes a blockage from what you really want to desire, and it manifests into like so many toxic things. You know, people talk about, oh, toxic friends. I have toxic friends. I have toxic people around me. I have toxic people around me. But do you sit back and say, well, what am I doing anything, or is there something? Am I not loving myself enough? You know, to see that, all right, yeah, I'm with these girls and they're toxic, or I'm with these guys and they're toxic, and I need to take the step back. You understand? Because I love myself that much. Some people will sit and stew in that environment and blame everybody else. Oh, you know, my boyfriend or the guys that I'm talking to, every guy that I speak to, every girl that I speak to, they toxic. At some point, you have to sit back and say, well, what am I doing wrong? Now, it's not about what you're doing
to
wrong.
be attracting all this toxicity.
Yes, exactly. Like attracts like. You understand? So
yes.
If you are toxic within and you don't know you're toxic, you could be thinking you're the greatest person in the whole world. Maybe you're just not loving yourself enough. Maybe you need to love yourself just a little bit more. And then you'll be able to move forward and manifest greatness, you know, beautiful things in your life. And I had to realize, like, manifestation is not just the physical aspects of having this and attaining that, but it's also just that peace of having, of being able to slow down and smell the roses.
Yes, that's
and
true.
Actually know what they smell the love that comes off of the roses. You understand? Being able to sit back and enjoy that meal, not, oh, I'm eating because I have to go do this, I have to go do that, but sitting back and really enjoying, to touch, to hug your family member, to hug your lover, to hug whomever. That feeling is like, that's you understand? It's like love literally incorporates, we are love. You know, I'm doing a meditation, which you embody yourself in love. So like your legs, and if you guys meditate out, what you basically do is that your legs from your feet to your knees is the L. From your knees to your hips is O. And then from your hips up to your chest is V. And then the top of your head is E. So that you know that you are always rooted in love. I did that meditation probably 2 or 3 times, and now it's like I walk and I'm like, yeah, I'm love. I am love. I am love. And before I used to say it, but I didn't feel it. I used to just be like, okay, yeah, love. You understand? Like, oh yeah, I love. Okay, yeah, cool. But during the storm here, tested I was best. So yes, to see. Yeah, so it's just making sure that you always root yourself in love, because once you love yourself, everything else will unfold exactly how you love yourself. Like, yes, yeah, our love is love. We are love. We are made, we are created in love. We wake up, we move, everything that happens to us, you know, is in love. It may not look like it may not feel like it, but the higher purpose or the bigger purpose or the reason, you know, that divinity in every experience, that's the love. Yes. You know, that's the true love, you know. So just a little challenge, or, you know, after you guys get off this live, try to incorporate these 5 senses into what your definition of self-love or love looks like. Slow down and feel the love, see the love, smell the love, hear the love, taste the love, you know, and try to incorporate self-love in you know, your everyday. That's my advice, is just try to incorporate it, you know, love in everything and that you do, because I used to say that, but it's a difference when you say it and you're being about it.
Yeah, you're actually feeling it, you're actually acting it out.
Yes. 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 Do you have anything you want to, anything else you would like to share?
No, I think first of all, this was a dope live. I love the questions, and I think that just listening to everything and, you know, winding it back, listening over, listening to two perspective out of many on love and becoming more self-aware. Matter of fact, I'll add just become more self-aware. Okay. And the moment that you become self-aware is the moment that you will take in the accountability to make sure that you are loving yourself always. So that way, when you do come across people that you do love, you know that the only way that you can love them is when you're taking accountability of yourself. Because the moment that you take accountability of yourself, you are then able to provide the love that you want to receive. And I think that should be everyone's ultimate goal. What type of love do I want to receive? Okay, this is love that I should give out. You know, and I'm not talking about like, okay, well, when it comes to like love languages, everybody love language is different. But how do you serve yourself in order for you to be served? You know, and are your intentions good? You know, when you think about those things, I think that's when that wheel of love gets going, and then soon you'll be able to attract so many people, or maybe even reincarnate the love in the people that you already know, for them to now cycle it back to you the right way. And whatever your right way may be, that's how it will be.
Yeah. So. Yes. And if you guys feel like it's hard for you to connect with your heart, because I struggle with that, heart meditations, heart chakra meditations on on YouTube are a big help. Also, just just placing your hand there and just looking for that feeling. I like to feel my heartbeat, because it's like, wow, you're alive, you know, you're here, you're present. It helps me to be very mindful and just present in the moment of whatever it is that's going on. Self-awareness is so, it does go hand in hand with self-love, being aware and taking accountability, self-accountability, you know, to make sure that you are leading in the way that your soul intentionally wants you to lead. And I'm so happy that you joined me today. I'm so happy that I kind of played a part in the experience of helping you get out of this experience and getting through the experience. I'm so grateful for that. And I already told you on the phone that I don't just go down the list of people and go, oh no, I'm gonna like I sit down and I listen to Spirit, and Spirit told me you. And I didn't know why, but now I'm seeing, you know, where all of the alignment has come.
Yes.
I knew this chat was gonna be so dope with you. I already knew off rip. I was so excited. And I thank you again. I thank you again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And we are gonna do something like this, yes. And I would love to have you back sometime this year. I don't know what we're gonna discuss. I'm not sure. We're gonna leave it up to Spirit, but I am locked and loaded. If you follow, I normally host lives once a month on LiveSlayCru. So if you just give us a little follow, you'll be able to tune into more conversations with lovely women like Rena and Prima. And if you guys have not already, check her out. So you said she's an author. She's a mogul, right? Author, poet. She sells fragrances. She's an advocate. She is spicy. She is spicy. And, you know, you guys, if you have not already, just check her out. You know, if you can, love, just put your Instagram. I'm going to tag you in the post, but just put your Instagram and your business Instagram as well. I have not smelled your scents, but I know they smell like love or friends.
Yes,
because
I definitely, it's so weird, but I already had the thought on how my fragrance would smell. And so what I did was I formulated everything to make sure that, you know, I was able to pretty much bring my thoughts to life.
Okay.
I know it sounds so weird, but it's so true.
It's true.
And also, so I tagged myself, and then I also tagged my company, and then I also tagged my podcast and poetry page. So a lot of people don't know that I do my podcast. I have a podcast where
it's so much. It's so much, but she is you are wonderful, girl. I commend you. Like I said on the phone, you are an inspiration to me and many. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. What were you gonna say?
So when it comes to the podcast, I feel like the podcast is my natural state, which is like this kumsi kumba, very rational, very I remove emotions out of my podcast. Like when I'm on live or whatever, like you know, I was doing like this whole venting thing. Venting is actually something I learned like in high school. I never used to vent. I never used to talk about my emotions or feelings. These are things I learned as a teenager through a young adult. And honestly, I feel like it's something that doesn't work for me. So with my podcast, it's something where I can take my thoughts, I research the facts behind my thoughts, whether it combats it or whether it actually correlates with it. And then what I do is I create an educational podcast that can help people that are dealing with whatever the podcast topic is about. And then I leave the floor to you. So pretty much if you want to be the unevolved portion of what the podcast is about or against, and letting you know, but just know that only one comes with sacrifice and one comes with reward. So it's up to you. And I feel like that just comes from my mental nature, my, you know, well, this is exactly what it is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I do know that only one comes with a reward. I think when I created the podcast, even though it takes me a while to like get the seasons going, because it does take a lot of research. Like I make sure that there is statistics behind it. I make sure that there's research behind it. I make sure that there's a lot of looking up information, because I don't want it to only be opinion based. I want it to make sure. And I always tell people take note that, you know, and it's because I want, after every podcast, I want that's my biggest thing. My biggest thing is just making sure that there's always change in everything that I do. And see, one of my biggest babies.
Yes.
It's literally my biggest baby. I love my podcasting journey. I adore when people hit me up and they're like, yo, like your podcast was dope. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about it this way. And I'm like, that's exactly how I am. Like, I'm somebody that thinks outside the box, and I want other people to think outside the box too. So the only way to do it is to, you know, put it on a non-combative platform where people are just listening and they're learning and they're like, wait, so should I change or should I not change? Should I take this advice or should I not take this advice? And it's like, whether you take it or not, the choice is yours. This is yours. So that's what the PRIMAPOETESS is about.
I'm providing Yes, guys, subscribe to her podcast, Prima Talks 2020, right? That's what it is, Prima Talks 2020?
2020 vision,
Yes, you guys subscribe to that. Apple Music, Spotify, whatever it is that you use, subscribe, because I am subscribed, and I love her podcast. I love Karina. I just love Karina. I think I'm just a fan. Like, From the time I
Thank you.
the time I met you at H&M, how many years ago? I just knew there was just something very lit about you. Like, you just have a light. You exude this light. So I'm so happy. Like, you guys check her out. Thank you for the ones who Karina's friends, her friends.
Yes.
If you guys have not already, make sure you are following me on LiveSlayCru. I have, and also check out our website. We have really nice, really beautiful, divine healing tools for women who want to reconnect with their spirituality, their femininity, just heal overall. Nothing happens by mistake. Everything is in alignment, and that's all from divine order. So if you just stumble on something that catches your eye, don't be afraid to support Black. To my Black people, I love y'all. I love all y'all, men and women. I love y'all, because in this here world, we have to love one another. The world doesn't love us. We have to love. We have to give this love in our community. We can't keep looking outdoors and outside for the love that we know we are worthy of. We have to give it to ourselves and give it to one another. And I just wanted to say thank you again. We will be chatting again. I hope I can on your podcast.
Like, this interviews that I've been on, I really appreciate it. I love the new perspectives. I love that you just, allowed yourself to be vulnerable to giving, because you didn't have to open up all of that information to us. So I appreciate that 100%. So
and I'm waiting for the new episode. I'm waiting for the Apple. I need that notification on my iPhone.
I will. So, I have so many, it's crazy. I have so many topics that I wrote down like during like the quarantine and everything. So I'm going to make sure that I execute everything and just start launching it. So I'm going to be working on that real soon, like real soon.
Thank you. Yes, I'm waiting. I will be patiently waiting. Patiently. So I think we're gonna. Did anybody, really quick, did you guys have any questions, any comments you wanted to ask me or Prima before we wrap up? And thank you guys. First off, thank you to all the guys that followed, commented, cooperated in this chat. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much. You guys had amazing perspectives as well. I think it was the oxtail that got me, but
yes, the oxtail and the smell of like what's it, baked potatoes? Like, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the baked potatoes. I loved this chat. I really enjoyed every single one of you. Thank you so much. And we will see you later. We will see you soon. Yes.
All right.
Later.
Good night.